Yo, 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 what it do, what it do?
Man, what's
poppin', team?
Shit, you know, another day in logistics, just hustling freight. Actually, I lied. I hustled zero freight today, maybe like one load because it's technically tomorrow's Veterans Day, but I said, fuck it, I'm taking off. I'm one of those veterans. I do, bro. Like, I don't ask to take off on Veterans Day. I just take it off. I mean, not even here. I'm just saying, like, period, dude. Like, we just take off Veterans Day.
Right.
Man. How you doing, Ron?
Man, I'm doing good. I mean, I'm probably in the same boat you in, man. I didn't really get a whole lot accomplished today for his trucking and whatnot. I just kind of took some time and did some stuff around the house that I just moved in, and then decided to go down to the fishing hole, man, just to blow off some steam. I've been doing that the last couple of days, so just trying to blow off some steam and keep my mental health.
Did you catch anything?
Oh yeah, man. In the last 4 days, man, I didn't pack my freezer out, man. So tomorrow I'm going for Veterans Day, for some of my neighbors and stuff, I'm just gonna cook some fish and stuff like that and bring people around. Just try to have a little community event right here in the little neighborhood I stay in. So that's been my goal all week, was to catch enough fish to do that.
What'd you catch? Much cat?
Man, nah, I got into some bass, man. I got into some where I live up here in Anderson, Missouri, we got the Elk River, and it's fed by cold spring water. So I got into a bunch of bass, got into some pickerel, which I didn't even know was this far south. A couple bluegill and stuff like that. Just, I haven't gotten to no cats, but I'm gonna go in the morning to see if I can pull a few out of there, because there's some in there.
Just bring that extra pole and plant it in the ground.
That's what
down there.
That's exactly what I'm finna do. I already got my little blood bait ready. It's been sitting out in the sun all day, so I think I'll be successful.
Sure.
How was your day, Hunter?
It was good, man. It was good. Another day in paradise, as always. Happy Veterans Day to you two. I know it's said before, but and happy
Thank
Veterans
you, my brother.
Day out there, man. Beautiful day to celebrate freedom here in the greatest land in the world. So,
amen.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Man. So, with that said, about Veterans Day, obviously, happy Veterans Day out there to all my vets, and from one brother to another. I appreciate y'all sacrifice for sure.
Same here. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans, man. We appreciate the service. I appreciate you guys as well. I mean, even you, Hunter, even though you're not a vet, man, you still out here sacrificing and laying it all out on the line. So, I appreciate it.
Sure.
And so what we're going to do is, here in a second, we're going to play a little veteran salute video, and then we're going to go in and talk about a couple things about being veterans, specifically in our industry. LaRon, he's a driver, so he's directly affiliated with the logistics industry, and we'll touch on some other things about being a veteran too, not just about that. Some problems that we have, some struggles that we have. Maybe try to bring some attention and let you civilians out there know that if you really want to thank a veteran, there's a lot of ways to do it besides a couple of words once or twice a year. So with that, Hunter, will you go ahead and play our salute video?
Absolutely.
There we go.
USA number one.
That's it, man.
Hey, honestly, that was a really cool video, man. Like,
I appreciate it, bro. I don't want to do none of that foo-foo-y fluffy shit, man, with like families running around with American flags and soldiers hugging their loved ones. It's like, look, man, hey,
right.
you know, veterans, you want to salute a veteran or you take me to blow some shit up. You know what I mean? You want to pique a veterans interest, man. You show some helicopters blowing stuff up, man. You know what I mean? Some fools kicking down a door. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm trying to tell you, show what it really is instead of, you know, what Americans think it is.
Mm-hmm.
You
For
know,
real, man. So, before we get on to our regular little schedule, we have we'll touch on some news. Pretty cool article. We actually, I think, talked about this like maybe on one of the first shows. If not, either way, it has been being talked about for a while. So I'm sure it'll be good for you guys to get a little update on this. Before we do that, though, I think Hunter wants to drop a little plug here for us.
Yeah. So everybody who's on the show has been with the show, will watch it and has watched it before. Just want to say thank everybody for being with us. We started August 1st and made it a long way. So some updates for the Logistics Lounge. We have launched a new YouTube page that will have all of our videos uploaded, pre-recorded, and live. So if you miss one of our shows, rather than having to go through and find one of the videos in our profiles, we will drop the link, which will be on our new Logistics Lounge business page on LinkedIn as well. Just type in the Logistics Lounge. It'll have our new logo up here for those of y'all that are a part of the group. We will continue to use that and probably revamp it into some different news articles, some of our more advertisements, clips, whatnot, what it may be. But we will definitely keep you guys posted. But we are just trying to make this content as accessible for everybody, and as much love as we're getting, we would be fools to not continue to put work into this. So thank y'all once again. You know, Rob is very thankful for y'all, and you know, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to have people like Ron on here and old Crazy Terry and the gang and Jason Raybine. And so keep a lookout. Merch soon to come as well. Merchandise soon to come.
I'll tell you, first thing we're going to drop is a Father Freight shirt. Yeah, hey, we appreciate the little following that we got, guys, and we're revamping everything. You know, I mean, I think y'all see that. You know, first time we didn't have half the stuff we have now. You know, we're really putting some good video content in this, doing a lot of editing and stuff for the little videos and such that y'all see, and we're trying our best to really have guests on that you don't see any other place. I know every show says that, but like we do, we try to hit it from all angles. You know, we try to give, you know, dedicate or appreciation where appreciation is due to people in the industry who normally get it. You know, technology people, you know, all that type of stuff. You know, so yeah, we appreciate it. We'll get more about the YouTube page out to you guys later, and we just appreciate it. But you can go anywhere, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and just type in the Logistics Lounge. As long as you see our logo up there, then that'll be us. And, you know, we appreciate the whole like, follow, subscribe thing, you know, like the kids say. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to touch on our news story tonight. Like I said, this is a pretty good one, specifically out there for all you drivers. And like I said, it's been out for a while, but finally there's been some progression on it. So we're going to see how that goes. All right. As one of the greatest Texans ever, Matthew McConaughey says. All right. So as y'all, I don't know, y'all may or may not know. Matt, appreciate it, bro. Thank you so very much, man. Appreciate it. Good show earlier, dude. Like real good show, man. I enjoyed hearing that, watching and hearing that conversation earlier, man. But anyway, all right, as y'all see here, they're finally introducing a bill to help truck drivers get overtime pay. This actually has been an issue that's gone on for a long time. Coincidentally, I honestly did not know about it myself until I became a transportation manager. And the drivers that I was in charge of, they all got paid hourly. And, those guys would work, 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week. And they only went like within a 5-block radius. So they didn't have to do logs. And I was like, man, like you guys must get fat ass checks with all this overtime. And they said, no, man, like we don't get paid overtime because there's an exemption in the Fair Labor Standards Act, that prevents them from being paid overtime. And honestly, it doesn't just affect truck drivers. It affects several other different industries, people that are considered contractors. And I think it also used to affect folks in the rail industry. It affects people in the airline industry. So it really is a lot more to it than just this. And I hope that they actually are able to change it, period, to where a majority of those people that are being exempt are actually, will be I can't think of the word, freaking brain fart, man. There's my brain injury kicking in. So anyhow, here's about the article. As I said, it refers back to a law, the Fair Labor Standards Act, all the way back 1938. There's 4 congressmen that are backing this. They're actually a part of both parties, both Republican and Democrat, which personally I think is good that they're able to come together on an issue like this. They also have support from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. Go fucking figure on that one, right? Because, the more money you make per hour, the more money the freaking union gets off your check. Anyway, and OIDA showing support for them as well to help lead this charge for this bill to try to make this happen. On the flip side, however, the American Trucking Association president, Chris Spear, said that driver wages have risen across the board at historic rates year over year, except, and I loved how he did this, except in the case of Yellow, where one party's refusal to come to the table ended up destroying 30,000 jobs. He further said that if lawmakers really wanted to help drivers, they would address something like the parking shortage or one of the other many, many issues in the industry that really needs immediate attention, specifically because this will impact a very, very small portion of drivers. Not saying it's not important, but a very small portion of drivers out there actually paid by the hour. Most are paid by the mile. Whether you're a company driver or an owner operator. So his point is, hey, there's a lot of other things out there that could help change and affect the industry as a whole for drivers versus just attacking this. And Freight Waves and some other people actually touched on this thing back last year in April of 22. Which is because that is when 2 other bills were introduced by 2 other gentlemen. However, neither one of those bills made it past House committee. So, they were pretty much dead in the water, didn't go anywhere. And now they're here trying to push the fight back to it again and see if they can get, try to get this changed. So,
yeah. Rob, I don't. Did you see Rob Carpenter's comment on LinkedIn?
No.
Unfortunately, it doesn't post on here, but he's saying the interstate exemption for overtime pay has always been ridiculous, but he realistically does not expect it to pass, which I don't doubt him on that.
I don't either. I mean, I kind of don't.
Got money, just.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I would love for it too, man. Like, I really would. Like I said, I mean, I know there are drivers out there that are affected by it. So like, I'm not against it, I mean, it's just been one of the things they've been fighting for forever. You know what I mean? And it just hasn't been pushed through. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll see, you know what I mean? And see where it goes from there. But other than that, that's the end of that. Go ahead.
If I could just because I do want to speak on this, just briefly from a carrier's perspective and a driver's perspective. I don't see how it's conducive because, especially in the environment that trucking is in right now, where's the money gonna come from to support this? What I see it doing is driving a lot of carriers out of business because, right now, rates are what they are. They're low. Shippers are going through what they're going through. Brokers are going through what they're going through. I'm seeing brokerages close almost on a daily basis, along with carriers. Where is the money, going to come from to support to pay all this overtime when most carriers are just making enough money to cover fuel, and a lot of times that's it, or just a little bit extra. I just don't understand, you know, what how that's supposed to be conducive in a time like this. And I'm with you. There's so many other things we need to focus on, that our government could be focusing on, other than this right here, because honestly, the infrastructure we got right now, I don't see it being able to support paying guys, overtime at this point in time, because the money is just really not there to support it. So I would like to see other things happen, you know, other than this right now. I feel like it's one of those smoke and mirror type of things where it's like, hey, focus, we gonna bring this back up to kind of shut y'all up and, distract you from some of the things that we really need to see happen.
Yeah. Get the argument going, get the conversation going, just so there's the
All right.
voice out there, and then it's like, yeah.
You're right, man. Yes, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, LeBron. So yeah, there's a news article. Like I said, we'll see how that bill passes. I agree with pretty much everybody else. That it's not going to pass. But hey, fingers crossed, guys. Hope it works out for y'all. So before we move on to our main event, tonight we have Ron on. He's a veteran. Myself, I'm a veteran, and we're just going to talk about a little about our journey into the military, our little journeys in the military, and how that has served us outside or after our service, and helped us get where we're kind of at. Not that we're anything greatly special, but do that really shortly, and then we're going to touch on some issues surrounding veterans, specifically, veteran mental health, how that stuff is affected. And, with there being a lot of veterans in our industry, I think it helps to understand that. And as well, some different things to say or do to for a veteran on Veterans Day, besides thank you for your service. Yeah, I think this will be a good one. I think we're supposed to have another lady on. We'll see if she comes on. Miss Gomez or Mrs. Gomez. She is an old school U.S. Marine Corps soldier, dude. I want her to come on so bad, man. So bad. I want her to come on. But anyway, before we get into all of that, we got to drop our little sponsorships. Y'all can see rolling across screen right now. We have AccuBig Pro. They've been on our show for a while. I think y'all pretty much know everything about them. The cool app that they have, and help you drivers out there figure out your cost per mile, so you are more profitable and can bid better.
Don't be a victim of cheap freight anymore. Take back control. These are turbulent times for the transportation industry, with companies merging or even closing their doors. Whether you're going out on your own or leasing on with a new company, know your operating costs. Look out for you and bid better with AccuBid Pro.
All right. Karen and King, Karen Cole with Karen and King Insurance. I'm sorry. We're also going to have her back on the show here in a few weeks. Talk about some more insurance stuff. Tell you guys how to protect yourself from risk out here in the logistics industry. All right. There we go. So, first of all, LeBron, do you want to talk a little bit? You want to start about your experience as a veteran? Your little journey in the military, and kind of to where you're at right now, so we can expand on this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to keep it short, but I'm one of those people that kind of got into some trouble, and my state was kind of like, hey, you can go to prison, or you can take a different route. So my father was a 22-year vet in the Air Force. He was a medic, so He was stationed in Little Rock, the Little Rock Air Force Base right there in Jacksonville. That's where I grew up. I never really saw myself doing it until I got older, and just I really didn't have a whole lot of opportunities, man. It's a lot of young people are find themselves in that position. I didn't have a lot of opportunities, so decided to go the Army route with Mike 88. It did a lot of great things for me, showed me a lot of stuff I wasn't ready to see. The one thing I could definitely say that helped me was, it gave me a lot of tools. It gave me a lot of discipline that I needed. It just kind of directed me in a path that I needed to go. I was Mike 88, which is, pretty much transportation logistics. And, it kind of opened up the door to what I do now. I just, I fell in love with it and kind of stuck with it. Which I am a third generation truck driver, third generation serviceman. So, I followed the path, even though I never intended to. It gave me a lot of tools that have allowed me to be successful in life and actually sustain, even through times like this. It kind of gives you that fight. It shows you how to fight. How to stick with something. Me personally, I think that every young man in America at some point, just like they do, I think it's in Israel where everybody has to serve X amount of time or whatnot.
2 years
I
after
think
they turn
that
18.
definitely. So I'm one of those types of people that feel like, the environment is it's conducive to the environment that we end up going into. Because you learn so much, especially about being disciplined and how to stick with things and not quit. And, it teaches you how to humble. I learned how to, I was one of those knuckleheads, and I learned how to humble myself. And I still struggle with that sometimes, but, I learned how to humble myself, and it just gave me a lot of great tools. I saw a lot of things that may have not been conducive, but overall, in general, it was a great experience for me, and it really put me in a position to, get to where I am now.
Awesome, brother. I appreciate you sharing that with everybody. I knew most of that, you know what I mean? So, but I appreciate it, man. I think that honestly is a fairly similar journey to a majority of veterans. And my personal thing is it's kind of like yours, man. I actually grew up in a veteran family. I grew up at Fort Hood, right in the middle of Texas. My family has a super strong history to service this nation, dating all the way back to World War One. There's been someone in my family that has served in every single war since then. My grandfather was a West Point graduate and a professor at West Point, and my grandfather that I pretty much grew up with, he was OSI in the Air Force for 20 some odd years. And ironically, growing up here, I said, I will never, ever join the military. Like never. It's just something I grew up around, man. It was just like, didn't interest me at all. And
Man,
I was a very, very bad human being, man. Not saying this was bad, but my wife and I, we had our first kid in high school. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I dropped out of high school to go get a job to support my then girlfriend and my newborn baby, and just on a really bad path. And we moved away from here. I got away from some bad people, and we moved up to Dallas Fort Worth, and just made the decision, dude. And I joined at the height of the war in 2006. And I'll never forget going into MEPS, man. I tested really good on the ASVAB, man. I had like a 115 GT score, so like I could pick almost any job, in the Army. And I was going to go medic, and then he said, and I was like, well, what has the highest bonus? Because medic had 20,000, and he goes, oh, 88 mics, and I was like, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's a truck driver. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Dude, I didn't follow the war. I had no idea that the reason the bonus was that high is because 88 mics for the motherfuckers getting blown up every day by IED.
right. Every day.
Supply line. So, That's what I did, and I'll tell you, it was the smartest decision I ever made in my life, picking that job, because I truly didn't know what I wanted to do in life, man. I when I joined the military, I was going to do my 20, like 100%. I was going to go warrant officer, man, do the whole fucking bang, and eventually I got hurt and had to get out. But point is become 88 Mike, man. It put me in front of people like Chief Warrant Officer Ski. I mean, that guy is what made me want to be a transportation officer, and that is what ultimately led me into getting my education to become a trans manager and all that stuff. And dude, getting out of the Army, it was too easy to become a truck driver for me. I mean, I walked right out of one career, walked right into another. They paid me twice as much. Man,
Right.
made really good money, had incredible experiences, and like you, LeBron, it taught me a lot, man. I was not goal driven at all before the military. I had no idea what real structure was, and I didn't realize that I crave structure so much. I mean, I really didn't. I feel like I'm a free spirit. I want to do what I want, but I tell you, having someone like tell me what to do, like this is how you have to do these things. There's no excuse. This is exactly how it's going to be done. It needs to be done by this time. It helps set that standard for the rest of my life. I mean, dude, everybody talks about that guy that got up and did that speech at some college, and he said, if you do anything during the day, the first thing you do, or however he said it, I'm paraphrasing here, you need to make your bed. And it's funny that he said that, because in basic training they teach you that the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you make your bunk.
Make your bunk.
First thing you do, man, is get up and you make your bunk. And that they teach you that to set the tone for the rest of the day. Like, you've already accomplished one thing. Now it's just accomplishing the rest of the things in your day. And dude, I still do that to this day. I get up, I make my bed, bro, and then I move on with my day. It's just like a pattern. I haven't broken 17 years, man. So, but it did serve me well, man. I say I was truly honored to serve this nation. Anytime anyone says thank you, that's my reply. Hey, it was my honor. You know what I mean? So
it's an honor to serve, right? Well, and I was gonna bring this up. You brought up MEPS, man, and this is a little weird, but back in the day when I went in 2007, I still have. I don't know if you remember these. They gave us because you strip down at MEPS. You got to do your physical and all that good stuff, and they give you those brown. You can't. I guess they're not tidy whities because they're brown, but they're them that it's the same stuff. I still got them to this day, bro. Like for some reason I could never part with them. Like, and it's weird. I know to bring this up is weird, but I never could part with them because I feel like the day when I walked into MEPS, and I went to MEPS in Little Rock, I feel like that was the day my life changed. And obviously I don't ever put them on anything like that, but I just keep them like as a,
don't lie,
just a weird like token.
I know at least be like, hey baby, why don't you go put on those tidy brownies?
Man, and I'm not finna wear them. Don't get me wrong, because them things were super uncomfortable. But it was just, to me, it was just like a sign of, because like when I went to MEPS, bro, it was like a shock. Like, like, hey man, we finna do this physical. You gotta do drug tests. We finna take your clothes. We finna, like everything got took from me, and that's what I was handed. And that was, to me, that was that was my new foundation. Of this is where life is finna go. So man, I still got them to this day, bro, and it's crazy. I probably should throw them away, but I just can't bring myself to do it.
I have still got my boot socks. I'll tell you, bro, dude, I'm serious as fuck. I wear those things like when I go do, like one of my side hustles is building fences, man. So, bro, I gotta do those, man. I use them shits to wear my boots, and I still got a lot of the stupid stuff they gave us for deployment. Like, I was in 101st, and we were a forward support company attached to infantry, so we had to be trained to do QRF with the infantry companies and stuff, dude. So they gave us a shit ton of those zip tie handcuffs, bro. Breaking them things, bro. Like,
bro, I still got them too. I got them too.
Dude, I got that. I got I don't know. I still have my original Camelback, Ron. My original Camelback from fucking from my.
Right.
It's crazy.
I didn't lost that by now.
It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. The stuff that you keep from the military that you have no use for. I still have my sand, wind, and dust goggles. Remember those with like the multi? Dude, I still got like 2 pair of those things.
You gonna probably think I'm crazy, bro. I still got MREs around here, bro. Like,
no, you're not crazy, dude. Hey, I love some MREs. Fuck what you heard.
I'm trying to tell you, let the lights go out. I'm good.
So real, dude. I love some MREs. I hear, hey, I don't know, but I know this how you was in basic, dude. How was your base, man? In basic, let me tell you, the dude or the chick that got the MRE with the peanut butter M&Ms, that
man.
Everybody
you was king. You was king or queen, whoever had them. You know, you was king or queen.
People would trade you their entire MRE for a bag of peanut butter M&Ms.
I'm trying to tell you. Hey, they're damn near trade you their entire existence.
Yes, they would, dude. I don't know if, again, I don't know if your base was like this. I actually posted this on a reply to someone's post earlier, but like in basic training, you have the ability to eat sweets when you go to the DFAC, which DFAC is dining facility. You have the ability to do it, but your drill sergeants are going to tell you, you better not eat those fatty cakes. And I'm sorry if that's not politically correct, but that's what they call it, fatty cakes.
Yep.
And dude, when we were in basic, like you could eat them, but if you did, the second you walked out that DFAC, drill sergeant was smoking the shit out of you for like the next 15 minutes to burn off that fatty cake. And so
every time, bro, I fell into a trick. You know, when I first went to basic, man, because back then I had a sweet tooth. I really did. You know, I would trade real food for, bullshit. We all did it, and it took me the longest, man, to realize, like, hey, man, they really trying to condition you. They trying to, make sure you're healthy, make sure you can survive combat, make sure, that, you're healthy. And it took me the longest to be like, hey, which now, when the military did this to me, I don't really go for sweets. I don't really eat cakes and cookies and stuff like that, because it took me so long to understand, what they was doing. And then once I understood it, it was hard for me. It's like I'm trained, like when I see sugary things, man, don't even do that, because I might have to take off running through a field.
Bro, let me tell you what was king in my basic training, dude. And I just want to say, my wife could come in here and vouch for this, dude. I was the most hustling son of a bitch in my bay, dude. I was baymaster too, so like drill sergeant loved me. So me and my bunkmate, we got away with a lot of shit. But anyway, king in our basic in our company were fucking cough drops. Specifically, these ones that were called like something breeze, dude. They were sweet, like they tasted like hard candy, bro. And I got my wife. Dude, my wife sitting.
It's like the whole smoothies, man. The whole smoothies.
Dude, my wife sent me like 4 bags of these motherfuckers, and I used to sell them. I shit you not, for 25 cents a piece, dude. Man, hey, bro,
like prison shit right there, dude.
I literally would send her home stacks of fucking cash from basic training, from hustling, dude. Hey, I used to do everybody's wall locker. In basic training, your wall locker has to be done a specific way. I mean, like exactly the way they tell you to do it. And I'm sorry, man, in the military, they all but
give you schematics, bro, on how they want that done.
Literally schematics. But man, a lot of folks you wouldn't think about, man, in the military, they're dirty sons of bitches, man. They really are.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this was back in 2006, 7, whatever. I would charge folks $20 to do their wall locker. I had some people, dude, they would pay me every week to do their wall locker. Again, bro, I was a hustler, bro. I was a straight hustler in fucking basic, dude. You don't even know.
I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm not even gonna say I would, you was better than me, because like I was so scared when I went to basic, bro. Like I was just like, I'm here. I don't want to be here. Like I never saw myself being here. It was like a scared straight program for me, because prior to that, like you said, I was doing a lot of bad things out here. I was involved in some things I shouldn't have been in. It was kind of like my last resort. So I really wanted it to work out, because if it didn't work out, I didn't know where my life was gonna go. You know, and I started having kids and stuff like that, and it was just like, oh my God, like if this doesn't work out, like I'm gonna end up in prison.
Bro, hey, I think
So
that I grew up in the worst neighborhoods around where we live at, man. I mean, like I've seen drive-bys. I mean, I've seen, people get killed. I mean, like literally, man. I mean, like I lived in some really bad neighborhood, and I'll tell you, and this is no lie, my first night, when you get to basic, you don't just like jump right in. You go through what they call reception week. And so you go to reception and they take all your shit from you, give you just the basic stuff. Like us, they only gave you a few changes of PTs. And
right,
and
I
then
had
you got,
two. I only
yeah,
had two when I first went.
I think maybe it was two, and they give you a canteen. But anyway, I mean, dude, you literally go in there, and I didn't have a beard, but back today I had a goatee and I had long hair, man, like sides shaved and just like real long freaking hair. But dude, everything, they shave it all off, and you completely lose your entire identity in the matter of 3 hours. And
In a
they
couple hours, you know.
yeah, they purposely bring you in late at night, dude. You're tired as shit. You're up till probably 3 o'clock in the morning, like doing little check-ins. They're taking all your stuff from you, and then they wake you up at 5:45 or 5:30, whatever it is. And so point is, dude, is my first night there, bro. After all that shit, dude, I cried. Like I for real did. I was like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
I did too. I'm not gonna lie, I cried, bro. I cried for my mama. You know,
Dude,
my dad hadn't been in past, but I was praying, asking him to like, hey, bro, like get me out of this. Like, I was not mentally prepared for what I walked myself into. Even MEPS did that to me. Just going to MEPS did that.
It was a reality check to me, man. Like in all kinds of things. Like I never thought I would do anything like that, man. And also, I mean, you understand. You and I joined at the same time, man. No, I don't truly the going into war and every part of it hit me that first night. That very first night, I'm like, holy shit, I just gave up my complete identity for the next,
Right.
because I signed up for 6 years. Like when I signed up, I said I want the fucking max, because I really was. I was going to stay in. And I was like, holy shit, for the next, 6 years, this is going to be at least 6 years, this is going to be my life, so forth, so on. I know that as soon as I get to my unit, we're going to be deployed, because again, it was at the height of the fucking war.
Height of the war.
It just all hit me right through that night, man. And I'll tell you, that was listen to Sherry. You got just babies. Whatever, Sherry. Whatever. Miss Hard Marine Corps. But either way, it is, man. It can be a real freaking stressful thing, man.
Well, and see, Mike 88, my MOS, I actually got tricked into that.
Yeah.
That's not what I wanted to do. Like I say, I'm a third generation truck driver, and I'm coming up, I used to haul out the field, go to the mill, go to the bins and stuff like that, hauling grain and stuff like that. It was really boring to me. I didn't, see myself ever doing that. And, whenever I enlisted, I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what was going on across the pond. And my recruiter was like, oh man, your ASVAB is this, your scores are that, but I think you would do really good with Mike 88. And I'm like, okay, man, that sounds cool. Like, I'm just thinking of the name, like, it just sounds cool. And then they told me what it was, and I was like, oh man, that, I've been doing that. I'm gonna be all right. Bro, I had no idea. I had no idea that folks was getting blown up by roadside bombs. I had no idea that those were the guys that was really out there. They was the ones that was dying. I had no idea. Like, my recruiter did not. He didn't go into none of that. And then they promise you a lot of stuff and things like that. I fell for the promises and all of that good stuff. But like I said, I was gonna do it regardless, man. They could have had me out there digging ditches. I was gonna do it because I didn't want to go to prison. So
that's all, man. The old recruiters dwindling again.
Jerry, you shouldn't have to wait 24 hours. I mean, the link that I DM'd you, I mean, ask Ron. Like, I DM him a link and it just lets him right on.
As soon as he did, I mean, and this is every time I come on the show, I just tap the link and it pulls it up and I come right on in. I've never had no wait.
I'm gonna DM it to you again, Sherry, and see if you get this one. I mean, and if you're not seeing my DM to you, share, I mean, maybe it's going to your, spam thing, since you and I aren't friends and stuff on Facebook. But anyway, so here's honestly the first little topic that I want to talk about tonight when it comes to veterans, and it has to do with people saying thank you for your service. And me personally, I don't find any offense to it. I mean, it doesn't offend me. I mean, in a way, it kind of hits a nerve, and I'll explain why from an article here that I've seen. I mean, it's not, like I said, a big personal thing, but 2 days a year, and I will say this: I love how on Memorial Day, which is the second day of the year, people thank you for services. They go up to you and say thank you for your service, or Happy Memorial Day. And it's like, you do know this is the day for the soldiers that have died, right? But anyway, so basically what it is, and I love this word, it has become trite. I mean, in a lot of veterans, like, they appreciate it, like they do, but it's kind of like Merry Christmas or Happy Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? It comes around one time a year. It's very publicized, and people say, find out you're a veteran and say, hey, thank you for your service. And, and everybody, veteran has a different, response, reaction to it. Some say thank you, others don't pay no attention. Me personally, mine, I say it's my honor. But, it kind of feels, and I like the way this article was written and put it. After a while, it just kind of feels insecure, or insincere, not sincere. I said insecure. Oh my God. It doesn't feel sincere. You just hear it year after year, and it's like, hey, there's a lot of other ways that you could thank me versus just saying it. Do you think about, me and my brothers and sisters past this day? I mean, tomorrow, when, there's not ads for furniture places selling furniture, and car dealers selling cars, and using the veterans' good name for it, are you going to give a shit? I mean, this thing that I read, it had a lot of good points about, things that people can do besides just say thank you, passing the year, or past this day of the year. So support veteran causes. I mean, seriously, if you want to thank a veteran for their service, so find a cause to support, something to do with mental health, or homeless veterans. Also, I think that a really good way to do it was, if you find out someone's a veteran, just simply say, hey, I want to shake your hand. And that's it. Maybe buy them a beer, buy them a dinner, talk to them about their service. I mean, most veterans, a lot of them don't like to talk about combat situations. It's just a sensitive subject, but most veterans love to talk about their military service. I mean, most of them are very proud of it. We got a lot of cool, funny ass stories. I mean, I remember guys building a slip and slide in the barracks hallway.
Y'all did that too, bro.
All over the floor, dude. Just filled up the mop buckets from the mop closet and threw that shit on the floor, bro. And had a slip and slide in the barracks hallway, dude.
Pull out you pull your mattress off the bunk and have the man, I forget what they used to call it, man, where you take the mattresses and run into each other and see who gets messed up. And,
I've seen that, dude. That is so fucking fun,
bro. We was with it, bro. We was with it, man.
There is no worse group of people to have together unsupervised than veterans. Because I'm telling you, dude, like,
Facts.
you don't believe the shit that you come up with when you're bored. You know what I mean? I mean, like, seriously, man. You used to have like fighting matches in the day room. You know what I'm saying? Like, move the pool tables, everything, and just have fucking grappling matches in the middle of the day room, man. Oh, dude.
Hey, that's where the Fight Club really started, bro. Like, they talk about Fight Club. That's where Fight Club really started.
Oh my God, that's so funny,
but,
man.
Just to piggyback off of you a little bit, Rob, because you hit a great point, man. Like, me personally, it's hard for me, and I appreciate people saying thank you for your service and things like that. But and I think a lot of other veterans, feel this way. It's one of those situations where, we get this one time a year, usually, or 2 times a year, Veterans Day, Memorial Day. People are kind of, that's when they think about, veterans. But at the end of the day, man, veterans are some of the most forgotten people, You know, especially if you came back and you know you developed a mental illness or you've been injured.
Especially if
You know, we don't think about these people, and then you think about, you know, these guys need help. They need medical care and things like that. Cutting through the VA is one of the hardest things to do. You know, my dad was he was a 22-year veteran in the Air Force. He got his 100% disability 3 months before he passed. You know, people don't understand how hard it is for us to get health care, how hard it is for us to, you know, get proper housing, how hard it is, you know, for guys to come back on this side and sustain and merge back into society and things like that. And we forget about that. For as occupational suicides, you know, obviously our veterans are number one, law enforcement is number two, and then truckers, they fall right behind it at number three. So, you know, for as the rates and things like that, and you know, we just have to remember that I don't care who you are, what branch you served in, what, you know, where you was at, what your MOS was, what you was doing. When you join, even if you don't even see the other side, you know what I'm saying? You don't come out the same. And, you know, a lot of us are just, you know, you go day by day and you're just trying to feel life out and things like that. And we don't have the support of the American public. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've always felt like that. Like, you can see, like, tomorrow we're gonna be saying Happy Veterans Day, but come Monday you'll see a homeless vet on the side of the road and nobody will bat an eye to him.
I want to touch on what you said before we talk to Sherry. Let her introduce herself. Sherry, thank you so much for joining us. By the way,
Hi.
I will
Thank
say,
you
man,
for your service, Miss Gomez.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you for your services as well.
hey, before we move on from that, because we've traveled and nothing, I want to say, and this is really hypocritical, I enjoy it and I appreciate it, and I say it to other veterans. Thank you for your service, because I think, and I think it means something coming from each other. You know what I mean? It's an understanding. Right. You know what I mean? It's saying, hey, like, I know what you've been through. I know the sacrifice you made. You know, I made the same thing. So thank you for being a part of our brotherhood and our sisterhood and making that sacrifice. So I will say that I'm a little hypocritical on it, but even this article I was reading, it said the same thing, that, you know, veterans do. They appreciate each other's service like no other does, for obvious reasons. You know what I mean? We connect. But I want to touch on something you did, man, and it kind of just went real fast. I'll say that one of the hardest things, and it was really hard for me. And I was only in for 2 years, man. I got hurt like in base. I got hurt in basic, dude, and I pulled it out for as long as I could, and they just refused to give me surgery and kicked me out, like literally med boarded me beyond, you know, with like said, this is your option. But anyway, what was transitioning, man? You know, I'll tell you, in the military, to me, I think is the easiest job in the world, to be honest with you. You were told what to do every single day, where to go, where to be, what to wear, how long it's going to fucking take, likely, what equipment you need. Like, everything is scheduled. Like, everybody has a boss, even the battalion commander and the brigade commander. Everyone is told what to do. And as long as you can follow instruction, it's the easiest job in the world. I mean, sometimes you got to go shoot people and be shot at. But other than that, I really thought, like, when I hear soldiers complain, I look at it like this. Like, I know military life isn't easy, but like, it's more likely you're a bigger part of the problem than you're letting on. But transitioning was for that exact reason. You get used to that routine, waking up at the same time every morning. You got to PT at the same time. You got to be back for freaking regular duty hours at the same time, everything. And when you get out, you're kind of left to your own devices. You know, I still currently live in Fort Hood. There are a ton of soldiers that get out and they'll put in the paper, you know, hey, they got out 6 months ago, and they end up doing some kind of crime or getting in trouble because they're just kind of lost, you know, or they commit suicide or they do something to their significant other. Because it is a real struggle separating from the military. And they say they prepare you for it, but they don't. You can go through all the classes in the world that they offer you, you know, when you're exiting. And I did all that stuff. And they say they're going to help you transition. And they really don't. I mean, they really don't, because every veteran is different and every veteran takes that different. But Sherry, you want to introduce yourself? You're old school, so I can't wait to talk to you.
Y'all don't make me feel bad. Don't make me feel old.
I only say that. I don't mean it in a disrespectful manner. I say that because the picture you posted is you and BDUs. And as someone who has been since we've worn BDUs.
I know. Well, my name is pronounced Cherie.
Oh, Cherie, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's okay. It's okay. I've just been listening to your stories, and it's just brought back so many memories. Yeah.
When did you serve? When did you serve, Cherie?
I went in during 90, during Desert Storm era.
Oh, really?
Yes.
My wife's dad and her stepfather both served during Gulf War.
Yes, and my husband, he retired Marine as well.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but I was in aviation supply.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and who would imagine all these years? Now I'm getting into auto transport. I mean, you know, I mean, you just don't know when you're gonna need something. And here I was, of course we order things for the aircrafts, but then you have the logistics. Then you've got the GSA. You've got all these departments and you can learn whatever you want to learn. It's no big deal. But I never realized how, if I would have known something, I would have paid more attention. Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. There's a lot of things that that I wanted to do and wish I would have done and paid more attention to as well.
Yeah.
In the military, there was so many opportunities to learn.
So many.
It's crazy. I mean, I will say that one of the things I did enjoy most about my service is because I was hurt, like, they tried pawning me off and stuff, and they thought they were going to punish me, and they sent me to schools and classes.
No problem.
Dude, I did we called it Eagle First Responder, which was pretty much a field medic. I went through that course, and I mean, was in there with like colonels and majors and captains and first sergeants, and I went and did like several court map reading courses and stuff, and technology courses, weapons courses, all these different things that they thought they were punishing me with. And I had a blast, man. I ended up becoming friends with so many great people and learned so many like cool skills. It was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And you know how it is in the military when you have the department that you're working in and something happens. So I was always the type that I like to learn everybody's job. But the problem is you're the ones getting stuck doing their jobs too. So it always backfires. I always like to learn and, always have my connections, and I tell you what, I have no regrets from serving. I did get a medical discharge, so I don't know where I went, but it's on their watch now. So.
I tell you, Cherie, you saying that, I have come to realize, and y'all know in the military that they teach you, if you want to progress, you have to know the job of the person above you and below you.
Yeah.
And I have come to the conclusion that is the higher ups way of getting out of doing their fucking job. Like, if I could keep some stupid E4P job, I can go and drink the rest of the afternoon. We did in my company. We had E4Ps like doing squad leader jobs, man. Like, for real, it was so crazy, man. It was not. But anyway, that's my conclusion: is that the higher ups use that to make us lower enlisted to their
job.
Yeah. So.
Well, if you think about it, though, bro, the real world is like that. The real world is like that. If they especially in corporate America, if you want to move up, you gotta be willing to do everything. So Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It definitely. I feel like it prepares you for, when you come back and you want to get involved in corporate America or you want to get involved in whatever. That's the way to succeed. My wife used to always tell me, do the job that you want to have. If you want that job, do that job.
I'll say that it honestly, like it served me very well. To be honest with you, I mean, it served me well in some areas, but I've always been someone that I'm just a curious individual. I mean, so it's crazy. Like I love hearing about people's jobs. Like for anything, like someone tells you what they do, I'm like, hey, I want to hear about that. But my point is. I've always wanted to learn the person's job above me, I mean, and the military did that to me because I was interested in, hey, what does a squad leader do? What are their responsibilities? What is the platoon leader do? The company commander, like the S shop, you know what I mean? Which I still really haven't figured out what the S shop does, but they fucking do something. They do something. They always seem to be closed, but they do something. But it also, man, it has also turned me into someone that, and a lot of times it's not a team player, and it sounds weird to say that because in the military it's all about team, but I'm just self-sufficient. Like I learn things and I learn the things of people above me, and then I just do them, and I do them because I'm like, I'd rather do it and not let you screw it up. So like, it is not hurt me well because I have like taken over a lot of people's stuff and done things for people that they should be doing, and it's just like, you're just going to mess this up. Just let me do it. I know it's supposed to be your job, but I do it a lot better. So, but it is a very good trait to have. It's one of those values that the military teaches you that you don't even realize you're being taught, and in a way that's kind of like disturbing that the military does that to you. Wash you. All of that shit that people tell you, the military does. They brainwash you. They do 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
All right, so I think man, I completely lost my train of thought. Something I really wanted to talk about. We were touching really on the mental health thing, and we talk about that a lot. And we talk about ways to thank veterans and stuff, and that right there truly is, and you hear about it all the time, and you really can't talk about it enough, but really is the mental health, and it is lifelong. I'll tell you, one of the things that I still struggle with right now is it kind of took a piece away from me, man. I truly enjoyed being in the Army. It gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, and the goals are easily obtainable for the most part. I mean, again, everything's structured. I mean, if you want to be a fucking colonel, there's a direct, clear-cut path on how to do that. And as long as you do these steps, you are going to get to that job. You know what I mean? And I don't know, when you get out, I think a lot of veterans have trouble acclimating themselves to the civilian world and the way civilians do things. And, that not everything is cut and dry, and goals sometimes aren't as easy to reach as you think they are. And me, I felt a way abandoned and alone sometimes, man. I think maybe y'all can say this, but believe it or not, the time I feel closest with like individual people besides my family is when I'm around other veterans. And it's not because we talk about problems, it's just because there's stuff. Cherie, Laurent, if y'all go back and look in that stream where I had posted that thing, me and that guy, Henry Hampton, dude, we're sitting there just talking shit to each other, bro. We served both in 101st Airborne, and I was Currahee, which was 4th Brigade, and he was Rakkasan, which was 2nd Brigade. And dude, like our two brigades have like this little thing going back and forth. Like it's funny because we were both our units began in World War II, and so we've had this thing going on ever since. But we're just sitting there talking shit, dude, to each other, like saying things that only veterans understand and only you can get away with another veteran. Like someone else, they're like, "Holy shit, that is so offensive," and you're like, "Dude, that's nowhere near the worst I've been called."
Yeah.
I mean, so.
And I think that when you're in civilian life, there's they just don't understand. You know, we have such a high level of tolerance that you don't have time to take things serious, because if the civilians know how bad military talks against each other, it's not a bad, it's just not personal. You learn not to take it personal. And so a lot of times, it's kind of hard when you're dealing with family and just day-to-day people, because they just take things so personal, and it just make life so miserable.
They got thin skin, is what it is. You know, they have thin skin, and that's something that we're
Yeah.
taught. You know, we're taught from day one when you sign up, when you go to MEPS, when you go to basic. That's that's one of the first thing they start doing is sticking their skin up and changing their thought process. And a lot of civilians just they don't have that understanding, and it makes it hard, especially when you're coming back to the civilian life, because you get used to being around people that have thick skin.
Yeah.
That can take a joke, that can have conversation, that you can disagree with and still stand shoulder to shoulder with, even though y'all don't see eye to eye on a certain point of view. Civilians, they fall apart when things don't go their way, or that understanding isn't what they want it to be.
Yeah.
And that's something that, especially in this country, that I would like to see, kind of shape shift a little bit. And that's why I promote for everybody, but allowing it to be a requirement, just like it is in Israel, that everybody, when you come out of high school, you need to go serve. You need to get that discipline.
That's that's something we need to touch on in a minute. But dude, the reason I'm sitting here laughing is because first I want to say that I think another thing that most veterans have in common, as far as what we're talking about, how we talk to each other, is directness. Like in the military, there is no beating around the bush. There's not time for that shit. Like if someone's fucking up, you don't go and pull them aside and say, "Hey, you're doing something." Like, listen, you're fucking this up. Like, this needs to be corrected right now. This depends on this thing. And you talk about thickening your skin, bro. Dude, so I would say that one of my drill sergeants, I had the greatest honor of being taught by Drill Sergeant Bo. I know that name does not mean anything to people, but to you two veterans, this, what I'm about to tell you, will mean something. He was one of the soldiers that was killed while going and looking for a piece of shit traitor, Bergdahl or whatever. Dude, one of the funniest, just sons of bitches. He was, matter of fact, another honor. He was 82nd Airborne, man. Freaking 82nd Airborne Ranger. Dude was just a straight freaking badass. So point is that dude, bro, I would never forget. We were on an obstacle course, and it was the buddy course, where like you got to help your buddies, cross the ropes, over the walls, do all these things like that. And man, we had this one soldier, I don't remember his name, but he was just like a shitbag, man. You know what I mean? And at the end of the course, Drill Sergeant Bowen goes, "You know what? You're the kind of person that I removed the firing pin from their gun." I was like,
that's messed up.
Oh my God, bro. Oh man. We when I was at 101st, like 101st, everybody, if you're able to, you go through air assault school. And before you go through air assault school, you do air assault courses. Like every single brigade has an air assault course. I mean, and it's, climbing up, rappelling down stuff, all this stuff. But when we were doing one of the air assault courses, they were everybody was leaning back, getting ready to rappel down the wall. And this one soldier grabbed the instructor's jacket, and he said, "You let go of me, or I'll kick you the fuck off this platform." And be like, that thing is like 100 feet in the air.
Man.
And it's just like, to anyone else, like it's like you can't say that to people, and that dude was serious as shit. Like if that dude wouldn't have taken his hand off him, he would have kicked his ass straight down that platform, man. But it's just the thing I love about it, man. Like you can talk to each other like nobody else can. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It's just that unspoken thing. I don't think it matters what era you served in, whether you're Vietnam, World War XII. I don't know. You can't relate with a World War II vet unless you're World War II. Like I just that's something you just can't, you know. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Any era, it's just a level of respect, you know, and a level of understanding that, like you said, this individual has thick skin, man. You know, I can say things to them like not negative, you know, but that they don't understand, you know, talking about going out to the range and shooting 50s with NVGs, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, doing the low crawl under concertina wire, you know, just dumb stuff, you know, that other people don't understand that, you know, brings all of us closer together. But I want to talk about that service that you're talking about, Lamont. I can't think of the wording I want to use for it. As usual, my brain is just not functioning correctly. But I am so with you, man. And I didn't believe this way until after I served the military. And I started to believe this way. I saw what it did for me. And I think that and I don't think it should just be men either. I think women should too. Yeah. Should have to do a minimum 2 years in the military. Whether it be National Guard or active duty. None of that reserve shit, because they don't hardly ever do anything. Like they're like you know, I don't know what they do, honestly. But
collect the check.
Yeah, right, really. I think that whether you like this country or not, I'm telling you, service in the military gives you tools and things that you never ever accomplish. An understanding that, again, whether you like this country or whether you agree with war, like sacrifices that soldiers and their families make, man. Like I'm telling you, it's not just veterans that have a hard time, and I mean that's something else I think is important too. Is you know these families, you know, they need help and support as well, man. It is hard as shit being a military family member. It really is. And I think that having an understanding of all that, you know, what it is to serve our country and all the things that go into it, man. I had no idea how much shit it takes to get just a battalion across the world. Like, oh my God, dude, like we spent months and months packing connexes or containers, like we call them connexes, packing and unpacking Connex. Right, remember that shit? You pack a whole Connex, and they're like,
yeah. Don't please don't bring those memories back.
We can't find blase, and you have to unpack the entire Connex.
Yep, you gotta unpack it, you gotta pack it, you gotta unpack it, you gotta make sure everything is there. Because I mean, if you know, and people don't understand that, and you have to think outside of yourself, because if you get to where you're going, wherever you're deploying to, and you don't have everything you're supposed to have to, you know, to do what you need to do, somebody finna die.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna lose their life, and that's what people don't understand. And that's why I believe if we all had to, like you said, just a minimum of 2 years, I think that would unite us so much, because you know, people would understand that, you know, we need each other to survive. We have to have, if you don't do your job right, it can get me killed, let alone get you killed, and it can get our whole battalion killed. And people just, you know, civilians don't understand that. And I think that's why in our society, in the environment that we live in, that's why things go so poorly, because everybody's only thinking about themselves. Mm-hmm. They're not thinking, you know, how does what I'm doing right now affect the next person?
Hey man, that's one thing that definitely the military teacher, man, is understanding and dependency. It really does. I mean, and I'll say this, Cherie, I don't know if they something they said when you were in LeBron. Again, you and I say certain times, so I know it had to be one of the biggest things I heard when I was in the Army is like when you try doing something like on your own or your own way, it was like, oh, so you want to fucking be an independent person, do you?
Yeah.
You know,
ain't no such thing as individuals. Ain't no such thing as individuals.
Or an individual. That's what it's. Sorry, yeah. You want to be an individual, right? Like this is not the place for individuality. Like you, yeah, you do this, you do that. And I'll tell you that something I think that we are sorely missing in this world right now that is one of the greatest values besides integrity and honesty. Like those are my top two I learned in the Army, but is accountability.
Yeah.
Like,
Man.
dude, nobody has accountability, it seems, these days. You know what I mean? Like, I used to be a lying, like, never took fault for anything, dude. And like, even now, like, honestly, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, anything, I admit to it. I just think, like, you can't lie to yourself, so why lie to other people? You know, just take accountability and, you know, what you did, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So, dude, the values that you're taught in serving this country are just immeasurable. Like, they truly, truly are. Cherie, did you retire or just your husband retire?
Yeah, he retired. I got a medical discharge.
Yeah. How long did you serve? You don't mind me asking?
Well, yeah, no. I did 8 years in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And I was going to continue on, but my husband was like, you know, you should just go ahead. I'm going to retire. And so I said, well, I was on in upstate New York, so I just transitioned. We were on the Air National Guard base. So I just transitioned to them as on the reserve side. So, but that was right at 9/11.
Ooh.
So we were stationed there, and I was getting ready to go to Germany the next day. And so our unit was the one that housed everyone coming in and out, the liaison for everything. But that was a horrible time. But I don't know where I went, but I got sick. We went to Kuwait for a couple of weeks, and so I got a medical discharge from there. But yeah, I don't know what happened.
What rank your husband retire as?
Gunny.
E7.
Yeah. Yeah, E7. But I know a lot of them, you know, because of the war, their ranks went way high. So yeah.
Right.
But
I bet Cherie got the tightest bed corners in her neighborhood.
Oh my goodness.
Bounce a quarter off that thing.
You never forget
with a ruler.
You never forget that. But you know what's so funny is when we were growing up, my mother always had us make our bed that way. And I think one of the reasons was my grandmother was, you know, in Mississippi from the South. And she worked for the cleaners. And she had to clean houses for, I guess it's one well-off person. And all the sheets every week had to be hand ironed.
Mm-hmm. So, press them sheets.
Yep, hand iron. So it wasn't no wrinkle-free dryers. None of that. So my mom learned a lot of things, and so we started doing. She had a teaching. You know, she taught us those kind of things early on, and even in the Marine Corps, like when we first during boot camp, you know, they go at you hard, those drill instructors, man. Oh. And at night, I remember one Marine, she was like crying. And I was like, girl, what's wrong with you? She was like, oh, they're screaming and they're yelling and all this. And I was like, well, you know, my father was old school, so you couldn't scream, yell louder than him. So it was just, I said, you know, it's normal for me. But a lot of them had a hard time adjusting. But they, you know, as time went on, they got used to it.
we had this guy in our basic, man. He was kind of like forced into the Army by his dad. His dad was I want to say a retired major or something. And then this kid was just an absolute fuck up. I mean, just and he said, man, from the time he was in our bay, he's like, I'm gonna find a way to get kicked out. And I'll tell you, this guy was the biggest fucking problem, Cherie. He got very, very close. I mean, I am not joking about this. It was talked about in the bay. He got very, very close to having a soap party. And so, dude, but he did everything he could to get kicked out. and he would smoke in the showers. And if you know anything, like smoking in the showers and all the steam's in there, it makes the smell worse. So it travels all throughout the bay.
All throughout the barrack. Yeah.
He smoked while we were on a training exercise, just like pulled out a cigarette, dude, started smoking, just did all these things to get kicked out. And I mean, eventually he did and stuff, but you're right. There a lot of people did adjust, but man, we had some that couldn't adjust, you know. I mean, even in my unit, man, we had this guy, Higginbotham. Man, he is one of the ones that deployed, and when he came back, he just he wasn't right. Dude was a really, really good soldier. He's actually a Purple Heart recipient. He was in an explosion the first time he went to Iraq and got some shrapnel, but and they think that messed him up. Which this was before TBIs were a thing, you know, before the Army talked about TBIs. You know what I mean? But he would sleep in. Never made it to PT. I mean, just never anything. I mean, they literally would have to go and drag him out of the barracks room to do anything. Guy, listen, bro. He would show up to call in the morning like dressed in pajamas. He was a hot mess.
Wasn't even trying.
Dude, he wasn't. Dude, he ended up getting out on a psych issue, dude. Like the funny thing about it is though, is like if you talk to Guy, like he was crazy, but he wasn't crazy. Like he did it because he wanted out and they wouldn't let him out. Like he was trying to tell him, I can't do this no more. I'm fucked up. I saw some things that cannot be unseen. It is messed up. Like, and they wouldn't help him. You know, and he said, fine, if you're not going to believe me I'm crazy, I'm going to show you I'm crazy. And that is the truth of it. Like he really was. He just said, hey, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to show you what I am, and you're going to let me out. But it was funny, bro. He was a hot man. There was nothing seeing a dude come walking out of the barracks to fucking call wearing his pajamas, bro. That shit is the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, he wasn't even trying. And I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I struggle with guys like that. You know, we when I went to basic, we had a suicide. And you know, it was the first time I really seen something like that, and at the time I really couldn't understand it, you know. But I understand, like, a lot of people come from backgrounds, you know, and their family has not equipped them, you know, to mesh in certain situations, you know. And to me, you know, it's that survival of the fittest. You adjust or you don't. You know, and some guys, they really do. They come in. My cousin enlisted the same time that I did, and one of her things was, you know, you ain't gonna tell me nothing, you know. And it took her forever to just be like, hey, you know, it's gonna be easier for me to just take my orders, you know, do what I'm supposed to do, show up on time, you know, follow the dietary regulations. You know, it was just little simple stuff, but. You know, I struggle with people like that because at the end of the day, you know, you spend so much energy putting up a fight and trying to go against the grain. And it's just so much easier to, and I know this is hard for civilians to hear because everybody's individuals and things like that. But sometimes it's easier just to take them orders, man, and just do what you're supposed to do.
I agree with you. And I also want to point out that Hunter, we're sorry, bro. We're so
hey,
sorry.
I don't be sorry at all, man. Like I told y'all before, dude. My dad, his dad, and his dad before him were all Air Force. My grandpa Nauert was a medic in during World War II. My papa Chuck was a medic during World War II. Actually stormed Utah Beach and liberated like one of the second largest concentration camp in Poland or Germany, wherever it may have been. So, yeah, dude, I love it. Like, I thought, you know, I was going to be a big football star, and I was like, you know, there's always the Air Force there for me. But, yeah, no, I love it. Like,
I mean, at the end of the day, I would say it like this, man. coming from a long line of serviceman, bro, and especially being in trucking, because see, I understand, doing both. That sacrifice is not identical. I'll never let anybody say that it's not identical, but it's very similar, because the sacrifice that we in the military, and then the sacrifice that you sacrifice in trucking, it's very relatable, in the sense of you give up a lot, man. You give up your identity, you give up that comfortability, you give up so much. You give your family up. It's so much that you give up. So, in my perspective, I don't look at truckers and servicemen as the same, but the category is right next to each other.
I actually want to kind of expand off that, but I want to make my second point is this is the shit that happens when veterans get together. Is we start on one topic and dude, we just start rambling on like it is always like
be way off the left field.
You got to hear about this. Let me tell you about this time that Private so and so jumped off the fucking barracks roof. It was so funny. But anyway, I want to say, man, that and you may not be like this, LeBron, but I know I am, and I know a lot of veterans are. But and I'm gonna wrap this into trucking is one of the things that that made me so successful in being a driver and to be able to do the job was the solitude and the fact that whether a lot of people know it or not, veterans, it is ironic that we come from a community and a lifestyle while we're serving our country that is all about camaraderie and being on a team and worrying about the man and the woman that is in front of you, behind you, and off to your sides. And when you get out, I talked about this transitioning. It's hard to find that bond, and it's hard to replace that feeling. And a lot of veterans become loners. They dwell in solitude because it's hard to make those connections. I think it's present right now that people see that veterans connect with other veterans easily, whether you've been deployed or not deployed. You did the Air Force, the Navy, pretty much as long as you weren't a nasty girl or National Guard. I'm joking. Hey, love to the nasty girls.
I was about to say, man, I know some of them up my way to come down there and tear your top off for talking like that.
Hey, love to the National Guard, man. But it's easy to relate, and honestly, I can't really explain it except for it's just this unspoken understanding that we have amongst each other. And I also think that that's a big reason why a good portion of truck drivers are veterans, because it provides that that solitude and that way to not be around people. And like I said, it's weird. And that's also one of the things that's most damaging to veterans. There isn't that connection there with people. And especially like me, I'll say I'm fortunate. I live right next to Fort Hood, or Fort Cavazos is what they call it now. And I'm surrounded by veterans. One of my neighbors, he was a retired first sergeant. I got an E6 lives across the street from me. I got a freaking E8 that's a sheriff's officer, retired E8, lives down the street. And so I'm fortunate, man. I get to talk and see veterans every single day. But a lot of
and likewise, bro. Like I said, I just moved up here to Anderson this past week, and I have fell in love with this city because my neighbor across the street, he was a truck driver for 25 years. Before that, he was a serviceman. My neighbor directly across the street from me, because I stay on a corner lot. Same situation, truck driver, veteran. My neighbor next door is the same. So I kind of feel right at home. Whereas, I try not to get in that loner state because I start to lose my mental health. But it's been so nice just to be around people that understand and man, we just trying to stick together. We trying to take care of one another. And in today's society, you just don't see it because, everybody's so worried about themselves and, what their particular, I call them missions, but what their particular mission is. And they don't understand that, I affect you, you affect me, we all affect each other. And that's one thing we definitely lost in trucking too, is that camaraderie. The fact of the matter that it take all of us. You know what I'm saying? We need the guy to pick up the trash. We need the man to make the hamburgers. We need the, the guy to drive the truck. We need the doctor. We need the police. We need everybody. And we all have to work in some sort of unison. And I feel like a lot of the reasons why our country is going in the direction that it's going in is because we've set ourselves in these different tiers. I'm a doctor, so I'm more important to you. I'm a lawyer, so I'm more important to you. I'm a trash man, so I don't mean nothing. And people don't understand this is an ecosystem. Okay, it's an ecosystem. It does not work unless everybody is doing their part, and that's where the beautiful thing about the military, falls into play. You could be digging ditches in the military. You just as important as a E whatever. You see what I'm saying? A captain, a colonel, whatever.
Everybody's job supports someone else's job. Like,
bingo.
Like, if you're not infantry, they call you pogues. You know what I mean? But us, dude, like they may have talked shit about us, but like I said, dude, my company, we were transportation, we were the mechanics, we were the cooks, we were everything. You know what I mean? Like, dude, they don't eat if our cooks didn't cook. They don't eat if our trucks don't take them. But also like our fob isn't protected unless they're out there protecting it. You know what I mean? And so it is everybody's job has it supports someone else's role, and it is, man. I don't think, and you understand that, like you understand that there. You know what I mean? That hey, as an 88 Mike, like my truck doesn't work if this mechanic doesn't fix it. You know what I mean? And I better not be an asshole to that mechanic, or my truck probably ain't going to work for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
Right.
But either way, does anyone else wrap things up and end our Friday night, and my beautiful wife can go to bed, and everyone can go and drink their beer? Well, Laurent's not drinking. Cherie, are you drinking anything?
Bullshit.
Not tonight. Where's everyone from?
Well, I said I live in Killeen, which is next to Fort Hood. I'm about an hour north of Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Yep. I live in Dallas. I live in not Dallas. I live in Nashville.
You moved?
Nah, I'm a mutt. I'm from Atlanta, but also grew up in Nashville. But I live in Nashville now.
Okay.
I'm originally from. I was born down in Louisiana. I grew up in Jacksonville, Arkansas, right there on the Little Rock Air Force Base. Like I said, my father was Air Force, so to me that's home. That's where I'm from. I do live in Missouri now, and that's mainly because like we talked about before. I've gotten to a point in my life I want to be by myself, and my mental health is fine. My mental health is fine, but I just don't understand society anymore. So I'd elected to get out in the country. God blessed me with a beautiful home, biggest home I ever had. I just moved in here, at the top of the week. I just want to do chickens and fish and stuff like that, and I just want to be left alone. I'm to that point in my life. I want to be left alone.
Ron said he's ready to be sitting on the front porch in his rocking chair with his banjo.
Hey, bro, I got my porch. My porch is 12 feet long, bro.
Oh,
so hey, you know what I'm talking about? I just ordered me a rocking chair today. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I was talking to my sister earlier today. She said, man, you ain't but 34. You act like you're 50. I was like, man, I've experienced enough in my life, and the way I feel like society is going, I just want to be left alone, man. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Cherie, where are you at?
Well, I'm from Chicago, and I live here in Miami, Florida.
Oh, what? You
got 22 years, huh?
Oh, really? I said you got some room for some guests.
Look, come on down anytime y'all want to.
Hey, don't tell me that. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'll show up all through the fall time.
Hey, y'all yeah, yeah, I'm here 22 years. It has not grown on me. Living in development where this was new construction at that time. I know one neighbor.
Oh my
So
God.
here you've got a Spanish community, so everybody's quiet.
I am the nosiest fucking neighbor there is.
Me too.
I know every day, dude. I know everybody. I'm fortunate enough that I live on a cul-de-sac. And I may not be like cool friends with all my neighbors, but I know every single one of them. I know what every single one of them do for a living. I know what every one of them drive. I know the people that come by their house. Like, I mean, I don't know. But it's not to be like nosy crazy. It's just because I want to be neighborly. Like, I think you should know your neighbors, and if someone needs to borrow a hammer, they know they can come borrow a hammer from you or whatever.
Yeah, I have not seen. Like I said, I live here 22 years, and I've never. No one comes out. You see, no one.
I'm outside all the time. Hey, I'm outside messing with my yard, fixing cars. I mean, dude, I'm always outside.
So let me ask you all this. Well, I travel extensively, but are you all? My voice is going. Do you all do any events like retreats, or are you are you involved in anything like that?
No, you talk about like for the veteran community?
Yeah.
We do one once a year at home. We go to we go home once a year down in North Little Rock and meet at Camp Robinson right there in North Little Rock, and we just kind of everybody comes together. But it's become hard for me because a lot of the people that I served with, they've started to pass. So I would like to see more of that stuff going on. I would like to see, I would love to fly to Dallas, a couple times a year. I would love to, go different places and stuff like that. And that's one thing we have to get back on top of is keeping our veterans together, and keeping people locked in and stuff like that. And I think that's why there's this huge disconnect between us and society right now is because, we end up with these issues. We go to the VA. The VA is not doing what they're supposed to do. I don't give a damn what side of the line you sit on, whether you Republican or Democrat. I'm gonna always preach about the bullshit that goes on with the VA. They really just sell a lot of us short, and a lot of our guys, they end up going, they get off the path, that their mental health becomes deteriorated and things of that nature. I would love to see more of that stuff going on. We just don't see it like you used to see it. I remember my father being a 22-year vet, like I said, in the Air Force. 4 seasons out the year, he was flying all over the country, visiting his old war buddies. We don't do that type of stuff anymore.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I guess in a way, I'm kind of hypocritical about that now that you say that. Cherie, thank you for putting us on blast. We really appreciate that.
Well, that's a reason. That's a reason I mention it because, I've been to the VA. Well, and I can't say here in Miami, they do a pretty good job with the VA here. I can honestly say that. And
not here.
Yeah,
ours is shit. Ours is bullshit.
Yeah, here we got a good connection here. I've been there that one for 22 years now, and 9 out of 10 is pretty good. And so I have been getting maybe it's good we are having a conversation because I've been at the VA just talking to a veteran, and he's telling me about programs that I didn't know I had access to, and I'm telling him about things he wasn't aware of. And it's like all this information that's there, no one knows about it. And last week, I'm part of a few organizations. All you have to be is a veteran. And I just came from last week, It was a 5-day retreat where they paid for the flight, all the accommodations, the food, and it's all veterans. And they have a psychologist there, exercises, different skills that we're learning and doing. We were horseback riding, whitewater rafting, and it's just amazing.
Hey, Sheree, if you would you share that info with me in a DM or whatever, and I'll show it Ron, and I'll say that you talk about that. I have to go get the T-shirt because they sent me a T-shirt, but I stumbled upon this organization on Facebook that what they do is it's a civilian organization, but they send veterans gift cards for vacations. They sent my wife and I a combined, I think it was $1,500, and one of them was like a $500 Visa gift card just to like use for whatever. They sent us another $500 Marriott hotel chain gift card. They sent us several like food gift cards to like Cheddar's and all these other places, and it was completely free. Like all you did is you signed up, you uploaded your DD-214, and that was it. That was it. They sent you the stuff, didn't ask for anything. And it's great. My wife actually used it to take a trip, 2 trips to Houston to visit some friends. And man, we stayed in a baller ass Marriott hotel on the freaking top.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Like I said, completely free, effortless. I mean, it took me 15 minutes to do it, and there was no pushback. They just said, "Okay, hey, cool, you're approved. Shit'll be in the mail." They freaking express mailed it to us and gave us T-shirts and hats, and I mean, it was, and the T-shirts are nice. Like they weren't crap. Like they're actually really nice T-shirts.
Yeah. So I've been going to a lot of the retreats, and my husband went to the male's retreat. I went to the female, and so he did all the zip lining and all of that. So and with another organization in June, we went to a couples retreat, paying for everything, but they did not pay for transportation. It was just in Georgia. So we got our own flight, but everything else was covered. Everything.
That's awesome,
man. If y'all would really post that, because down here in Arkansas and down here in Southern Missouri, we need that information because
yeah,
we really do. Because I mean, I'm like I said, all my neighbors are vets, and I literally was outside talking to my neighbor today, and we was talking about, hey man, why can't we put an organization together to at least, some of these guys, let them get away from the civilian world and the hustle and bustle of all that. Why they can't get away for a couple days, stuff like that.
I'm gonna tell you all this. Everything is word of mouth. The information, you're not gonna go online and find it. You're not. But I do have access to a lot of them that I've gone to. But in some of them, you just gotta be a veteran, and they have some for couples, and you don't have to be married either. And they have some for families, and take care of all your kids, and that's it.
Sheree, you really got to share that information with me when you get time. I would be forever in your debt.
Yeah, I'll send you one
me as well. I would love to have that information because that GI Bill only goes so far.
No, so this here, I'm gonna tell you right now. When I looked it up, and you can pick like say this one is called Project Odyssey, and I'll send it to you. You have to be a veteran only, and they have the days of the year, which one you want to go to, and what there's to do. You can go for couples or families, so everything is laid out. Now they had when I went on one of the links to pay for that was like between $2,000 to $20,000, and the veterans are going because they sponsored them or they gave them the donated money.
Hey, I'll drop one real quick, and I'll DM this to you. Matter of fact, because I have a brain injury and I know I forget, I'm gonna DM it to you right now, Cherie. But it's called vettix.com.
Oh, I have that. I use it.
LaRon, if you ever heard of this,
I don't have it.
Huh?
Yeah, I went to the comedy club, 4 tickets for $12.
Yeah, dude, this place vettix.com.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talked about some civilians a little bit, but I will say there are some fucking civilians out there that they do more for veterans than veterans do for veterans.
Yeah.
But this one is called vettix.com.
Yeah.
And again, you have to be a veteran. So anyone listening or watch this, go ahead, go on there, have fun. You will not get access. But dude, it's civilians or just donors. They buy tickets to all kinds of stuff, bro. Football games, concerts, comedy events, just anything you can think of. And they put them on this site. Dude, some of them are completely free. Some of them are, like she said, $12. I mean, dude, I've heard of people, the guy who told me about it, he uses them to go to sporting events. And coincidentally, it was a guy I met at the freaking VA standing in line to get my meds. And we just were talking, you know, like vets do. We just fucking talk. And he goes to sporting events. The guy is set in box seats. Has done like backstage meet and greets with players. He lives here in Texas. So, but it's just not vettix.com, bro. It is, I mean, it's all kinds of, even stuff to like resorts. Like people will buy resort packages on there, thousands of dollars, and you pay a couple $100.
Yeah, so
see, I like that. I'm gonna definitely look into that, bro. I appreciate that information because, you know, like I said, down here where I'm at, you know, we don't get a lot of information. We don't, you know, there are some organizations, and you know, I cannot say that there aren't, but you know, I'm in a part of the country where we really struggling. You know, we're really struggling, and a lot of these guys, they just need an outlet, man. They just need, you know, they just need an outlet.
Well, I have a lot of organizations that I've been using, and so I will share them with you all because I'm gonna tell you right now. As a matter of fact, I'm not good at posting things, but you saw the pictures of horseback riding, water rafting. I mean, and this is only for veterans only, and it's not like in some old regular old place. We're out in cabins and nice places. So I think that hearing you all saying that you aren't getting involved in things like this, I mean, it's just a blessing that I can share this with you all because
I appreciate it because we honestly just don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. And then
like when you go to the VA, when you go to the VA down in Arkansas, here's the thing. To even get an appointment at the VA, their backlog is almost 4 months, 4 or 5 months. So you got guys that, you know, they want to take advantage of this. They're having mental health issues. They want to join these organizations. And before you can ever even get in, it's 4 to 5 months. And then when you get in there, you know, they want to throw the pills at you. They don't, you know, there's no outlets for us to get involved in. And I've reached a point to where, you know, and I don't want to get too much into what I'm dealing with my mental health. But, you know, I've gotten to a point, I don't want the medicine. I want to, you know, I'm to a point, I do want to be around like-minded people. I want to be, because I'm going to be honest, I'm one of those, and I've been out for a while now, but I'm one of those that still hasn't all the way conformed to society. Like, it's still a lot of stuff I don't agree with. I don't understand. You know, I just don't, you know, I struggle with it. So to have those organizations, to have those outlets, to have like-minded individuals, like I've leaned on Rob for a long time now. And, you know, he has his ups and downs and stuff like that. But it's some days I just call him because I'm having a bad day and I know he's finna hit me with some high energy and it's going to make my day better. You know? And I appreciate you for that, bro. I love you for that. I really do.
You know, I love you. Hey, where my girl at? Is she around?
She around here. Elise.
I just want to hear.
Hey, Elise, Uncle Elise. Come here, Rob. Rob just want to hear your voice. You ain't got to get on camera.
I just want to tell her hi. You don't know, Sheree.
Hey,
me and
she been telling me.
Met on.
She been telling me all day I need to act right.
We met on Facebook and have just developed an incredible friendship. And we've not met in person yet, but we do.
It's gonna happen.
We talk all the time and talk about each other's families and know each other's wives and kids, and it's just crazy the connections you can make off of social media and relate to people. But anyway, hi Elise.
Hey Rob. I'm still alive.
That's all she says too. That's my thing. She's like, "Hey Rob." Oh,
look at this.
Oh.
Oh, that's beautiful. Y'all on horses.
Yeah, it's in the water.
You have got to hook us up.
Yeah.
Please.
And I tell you what, and here, this was water rafting.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh man. Oh, that looks like such an amazing time.
Yeah. So that's what I'm telling you.
Oh my. Oh, look at dude. That is so awesome, Sheree.
This is last
week.
I
would love to do that. I would, man.
This is last week. So last question is, when did you all get out of the military?
I got out in 2008.
Okay.
You said when did we come out?
Yes.
I came out in 2011. I ended up catching an injury.
Okay, it's okay. And Dre,
he's not a veteran. He just comes from a veteran strong family.
Okay. So with you two, are you all familiar with the Wounded Warrior?
I am.
Yes.
Are you all a part of it?
No, I'm not.
I've been telling myself for the last couple years that was something I was gonna get behind.
This event here was a Wounded Warrior trip.
Well, I don't support them because they had that scam quite a while back, and it's just like
exactly.
Well, you know what? I remember them, but guess what?
Yeah,
they've done a 360. Oh, I can't hear you.
Or a 180. So cut that. Yeah.
There you go. Who can't you hear, Sheree?
Okay. Yeah, I remember when that came out, but guess what? They have done a 360. Somebody got their act together. And when I tell you, I just found out about 2 years ago. This for me was life changing, and I'm not gonna lie to you about that.
I believe you 100%. 100%, I believe you.
I'm with you, Rob, man, and I do believe you, Miss Sheree. They probably. Changed. I did see the scam that happened, and that just kind of.
No, I felt the same way. I was skeptical. I felt the same way. I was skeptical, but they've changed that, and now. When I tell you that what they do for veterans and the programs and the access to mental health and it's going to blow your mind with what they do.
I'm gonna go back and try to check them out. I hate to try to end things, but I need I need to. I said my wife has the weirdest days off. Coincidentally, none of them are days that we do the show. So
right.
She has to be to work early in the morning. She works for a cruise line, so she has to be. Matter of fact,
love cruises.
Oh yeah, she works for a higher end cruise line, but so she has to be to work on Eastern time, so she has to go to bed a little early and stuff. But Ron, I appreciate you coming on. Sheree,
definitely
really appreciate you coming on. Sheree,
hey Ron, do me a favor though, bro, and it ain't gonna take much of your time. But when we in the show, man, just give me a call, bro. I wanna talk to you about a few little things.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I'll call you, bro. I'm not going to bed. My wife's going to bed. I still got more beer to drink.
Me and you both.
You know what I mean? But before we go, does anyone have any exiting comments? And then we'll do our sponsor break. And I want to roll our veterans video one more time as well.
Oh, I never saw it.
Oh,
well, we're rolling here in a minute. Hopefully you'll like it, Cherie.
I want to say this one thing before I go. I just, tomorrow is, Veterans Day. I just want to, remind everybody, don't forget about the veteran on the corner. Don't forget about the one that doesn't have representation. We shouldn't be doing this one time a year. There shouldn't be no such thing as a homeless vet out here. I wish we would do things different in this country. I wish our VA was better. And we all have a responsibility. We can all, make a change, man. It's a lot of guys out here that need help. It's a lot of ladies out here that need help. We got to start doing something different, man. This shouldn't be a one time a year thing where we bring awareness to what's going on. I struggle with mental health myself. Rob, I know you do too. We got to do something different, man. We really have to. We losing too many of our veterans out here. I think we're, a veteran. Our suicide rates is too high. We got to do something about this, and it's simply because these guys, they feel lonely and they just don't feel like they have nowhere to go. It's not enough programs to help them get housing and the adequate things that they need. And we can do better if we can go out here and donate all this money to all these other countries and all this other crap, then we can take care of our people at home.
I agree. I'm just glad to say that. And I'll just, before we end, I'll say I agree, man. There should never be a veteran without a home and without a job.
Facts.
I'm sorry, dude. I mean, I agree with you, and I don't want to be political, but you're right, dude. I'm sorry. People coming over this border illegally in other countries to do nothing for us. We should not be, their people should not be taken care of better than our veterans. And I'll say a lot of civilians may think differently than this, but I mean, I'm telling you, I think veterans are the highest echelon of human beings in this country. I don't think that there is no better way to show your dedication to our nation and the things that you're willing to give up as a human being than service to our nation. And there is no fucking reason that a veteran should get out of the military and be jobless or homeless or so I appreciate you bringing that up, LaRon. And not to move on lightly from our conversation, but do our little sponsor break before we roll out. AccuBid Pro, app available in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. All you carriers, or I'm sorry, I always say carriers, all you owner operators, lease operators out there, help you guys get a better, and gals get a better understanding of your operating cost and what it takes for you, or at what point you will be profitable.
Don't be a victim of cheap freight anymore. Take back control. These are turbulent times for the transportation industry, with companies merging or even closing their doors. Whether you're going out on your own or leasing on with a new company, know your operating costs. Look out for you and bid better with AccuBid Pro.
Bop, bop.
I know, dude. I love that, man. That is so awesome, man. I know exactly where they got that sound from, dude. I stumbled upon it a while back. Anyway, Karen Cole with Karen and King Insurance. She's taking care of all your insurance needs out there for you carriers and brokers. Any brokers. She also deals in bonds for brokers, as well as other insurance type, health insurance.
Broker.
All that stuff. If you know anyone that needs anything, Cherie, or if you're in need of some insurance stuff, then reach out to Karen Cole. She's been on the show. Very, very awesome lady, very knowledgeable, and we'll be having her back on, like I said, I don't know, in the next week or two. you go. There you go. And before we go ahead and chop out here tonight, we want to run our little veteran support video, or I don't know what you want to call it. Sure, veteran support appreciation. There's the fucking word I'm looking for. Veteran appreciation video. Hunter, will you hit that beautiful bean footage?
Absolutely.
And with that, we are going to say, or I'm going to say, chunk the deuces.